Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NFT Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, May 16th. We are back like we never left. If it's your first time listening, we do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time each and every day. Each and every weekday, I should say. I see my panelists here, my co-hosts smiling. Oh, and I think I figured out why. I can't see what Kix is doing. But anyway, I'm your host, P.O. I'm back. Clemente crushed it yesterday. Here with the co-host of the year, the funniest man in the business, Nifty Nick. Of course, with Signal still sporting her hat, keeping the hat trend going. Everybody on this show wears hats except Nick these days. Anyway, she's the host of Artist Spotlight, which is a newish content vertical at the Nifty. She's also weather reporter extraordinaire. Love having Signal's takes on this show. King Kix, the CEO of Crypto Raiders, and of course, Cyber Stadium, crushing it in the crypto gaming world. He's also the intelligent degenerate, letting it fly. He is a new trend maxi, a new meta maxi. Easy Eats Bodega, the dog behind Bodogos, badass day trader and the host of GM Market Talk. Of course, Clemente, producer extraordinaire, sometimes hostess with the mostest, did a bang up job yesterday. I do want to talk about it briefly. That'll be pretty fun, but we won't be able to do the show, or we can't do the show without him. He's the man. And last but not least, we have Bunny, the host of the smash hit Twitter Spaces show, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, Into the Rabbit Hole. Bunny, your bio just says, I don't have a bio today. It's my kid's fault.
Dude, real pain in my butt today, P.O. The older one's staying home from school. His allergies are bothering him. I guarantee you, 3:15 comes, he's going to ask me to go to the park.
You got one of those
jerk.
Yeah, you got one of those.
What a jerk! This kid's asking to hang out with you. What a mean kid.
Yeah, you got one of those allergy kids, Bunny. What the hell?
My allergies are actually bothering me today. I wouldn't want to go to school today either. But I don't want him to stay home. So now I'm just kind of stuck in the middle.
Bunny, your show's been exploding. What are you just bringing in insane sponsorship revenue these days?
Yeah, so we landed that big PSYOP sponsorship right since I'm on the core team. I don't know if you've checked the wallet lately, with a lot of money in there, Pia.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got to talk about that. What I want to talk about quickly, have a little bit of fun before we dive in. We have a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, but I got to talk about my guy, Clemente, absolutely crushing it yesterday. The comments were so funny, man. Oh my God, the comments were funny. I went back to read them. People were like, they were saying Clemente's the Walmart version of me. They were saying like, hey, this is when your mom tells you that you got me at home, but it's Clemente. But someone wrote on the YouTube commentary at some point in the past 24 hours, they were like, yeah, like Clemente's better than P.O. P.O. hasn't been the same in a while. So I was like pretty pumped about that. I was like, I like that comment. Like if you're going to literally be like, yeah, Clemente's better than that other guy, I'm in. What do you make of that, Clemente?
Yeah, I saw it too. Was the PO hasn't been the same since the bear market. Like it got to him. It was insane.
I want to tell that guy I haven't been the same since, we've just been doing like so much NFT stuff. Yeah, because I'm just like focused and grinding it out. But look, I love the idea of Clemente being better than me at this job. That's amazing. What I told Clemente is they definitely love you because the audience wouldn't be writing comments like that roasting you if they actually didn't like you. They'd literally be writing, get this guy the hell out of here, he sucks. Because people don't pull punches, so if they didn't like you, they would let you know. Nick, how do you think Clemente did yesterday?
He did well. Thank you for tuning in to the Clemente review show. In terms of Clemente, welcome to your performance review. Let's get this thing started. Please take a seat here.
Well, Nick, how would you review?
No, hold on one sec, sir. He needs to sit down in order for us to have this meeting. Sit down, Clemente. Dude, you can't just walk out the door. You can't, dude, you got to come over here. You got to sit down. I've never had an employee treat me in such a disrespectful way. Sit your ass down, employee.
Ladies and gentlemen, I took one day off on Friday. I come back on Monday, and it's almost like I haven't done the show in a while. I didn't remember that if Nick's got a bit to do, just get out of the way. Just get out of the way because he's going to do
talking.
the bit.
Sit your ass down, Clemente.
Here we go. Here we go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to discuss Captainz hitting an all-time high. That's a juicy one. It's a personal one for me and Easy because we have Captainz exposure. I think other people on the show might as well. And this is despite the lack of involvement on Blur. Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club have been chosen as the next collection on Blend. And we're going to take an updated look at some of the projects that we had on our first ever edition of many people's favorite segment, Buy, Sell, or Send It to Zero with Easy. That's going to be a lot of fun. A little performance review on Easy's calls from that first one. Of course, we got to talk about two other big stories, Ben.eth and the entire saga that's going on there with the pre-sale. Bunny already brought it up, PSYOP or whatever that coin is called, and what's going to happen there. And then, of course, this Ledger debacle. Ledger, of course, one of the top two, I think it's safe to say, top two security hardware platforms in the crypto and NFT space, having a little bit of drama. So we'll dive into that. Before we get to the weather report, today's show is brought to you by us. Go to the nifty.com, make an account. You're going to need one to get access to the free NFT that we dropped today. You're also going to want that because then you'll get access to our newsletter. But most importantly, go and connect your Ethereum and Sol wallets. I think some people were saying that they were having a bug with connecting their Solana wallet. Don't worry, we're on it. That's going to get resolved. Just get on there, connect your ETH wallet, connect your Solana wallet in preparation of the Bodagos drop, which is coming, before you know it's coming next month. So it's going to fly by. We got Memorial Day weekend and stuff. Before you know it, that's going to be here. But anyway, over to the Kixinator for the weather report. Kix, can't wait for you to unpack your camera. Let's rock and roll, buddy.
This is the camera, big guy. This is the camera right there. I finally got, it's a long saga. I just appreciate everyone's grace as I get this internet solved and get this set up.
The internet needs to be solved. You're not exactly a Hollywood cinematographer with the way that you've customized the camera, but don't worry, man. Maybe me and Nick will take that. It's summertime, so maybe it makes sense now to drive down to your part of the country.
Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. I'm holding out.
I can see Nick.
Today is Tuesday, 16th of May, 2023. Volume 34.9 million. That's led, of course, by Blur, 18.5. OpenSea still down in the no-no range, 5.6. Looking at the leaders, we got 8, 45.9. Mutants holding relatively strong comparatively, above 10. Punk's trying to reclaim that 50 ETH floor, right below that at 49. Azuki looking solid, sitting in its normal range at 15. Captainz, as Bio said, all-time high, 9 ETH. D-God's looking strong as well, 8.6. Pudgy's a little bit of a pullback, but still holding strong, 4.4. Moonbird's 2.1 ETH. Over the past 24 hours, Nike.swoosh Day 1 Mint saw high demand for the digital Air Force One shoe boxes. Posters could mint one of two boxes, but due to technical issues, there was problems with the website. That mint continues today, and if it sells out, it would raise $2 million. Ledger is facing strong criticism on Twitter after a new update allows users to opt into a backup service of the secret recovery phrase. The service encrypts your seed, sending it to multiple entities that can then reconstruct it using ID verification. Chief Security Officer at Polygon Labs, Mudit Gupta, called it a horrendous idea. Don't enable this feature. Jack Butcher's Check Elements is set to have its debut auction today at Christie's, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, running for 7 days. Reserve set at $8. OPEP and collections up 30% in the past 24 hours. There's several sales in the 5 to 8 ETH range. Ford Elon Musk has a pretty one right now. That's his PFP. All-time sale for Season 1, 11.2 ETH. Lastly, Befriend gift goat holders were airdropped an exclusive People NFT. The NFT is accompanied with a physical collectible from the artist coming later this fall. Given the criticism of recent gift goat gifts, this latest airdrop is a step up for holders. Floor for that collection, 1.1 ETH. Quickly looking at crypto, we're just ranging after the weekend pullback. Bitcoin around 27, ETH around 1,800. Solana above 21, and Ape at 3.3. Back to you in the studio.
Fantastic weather report, Kicks. That was pretty fun. That Beeple piece is wild. That's hilarious that's what he presented to Gary Vee, and Gary Vee was like, "Yep, ship it." Gary Vee's got to be a good sport for that. I mean, look at that thing.
Oh my lord.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, some updates from the Nifty Daily Digest. You can subscribe at thenifty.com. Again, that's the platform that you're going to need to have an account on for today's free NFT. Bored Mutant Apes, as we touched on earlier, were announced as the 2 collections eligible for Blur's lending platform. Limit Break, Gabe Layden's gaming enterprise in the Web3 space, introduced the ERC 721C standard on Ethereum, a creator-friendly, programmable royalty solution that enforces on-chain royalties and provides creators with more control over token transfers in their collections. Very interesting. We can talk about that too, because I know Easy had opinions on that. We got a lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. It's a juicy news day. Bored Ape Yacht Club revealed that their heavy metal collection reveal will be quote-unquote coming this week. Coming in. Invisible Friends introduced their first physical collectibles featuring a 24-inch and an 8-inch collectible priced at 0.6 and 0.18 ETH. Is that right? No.
Yeah, it's
0.6?
right. The big ones, there's only 250 available. The small ones will be, they're going to do an open edition first for non-holders at 0.18 ETH. And then after that, all Invisible Friends and 3D Invisible Friend holders will be able to mint it at 0.09 ETH each.
Okay, got it. Wow, I mean, the actual floor price for Invisible Friends is 0.116 ETH, or 1.16 ETH. So, wow.
And they both look cool, but I feel like the small one's a little like off sizing on like the platform. Like, you know, you're getting like 50% the platform.
But that left one is 2 feet tall. Like
damn,
that for
okay.
0.6 shipped, that's big. Like you gotta
that's
think
pretty dope.
Literally, or a bear brick. Like that's the full size bear bricks, which go for over 1,000 for a decent chunk of them, and some even significantly more. So like I saw a lot of FUD about this, and for me, like being somebody who loves these types of things, I'm like tempted to buy the 2-foot one just because I think it's dope. Like, and it's huge. Like the little one, I agree with Kicks. It does look a little bit offset, like small. It's 8 inches, you know, for like an actual collectible figurine size. But that 2-foot one, to me, I'm like, this thing is fucking sick.
I think so too. I want to hear what Nick thinks of that too. Last story, Gutter Cat Gang teased a partnership with Puma Basketball and LaMelo Ball, featuring a virtual basketball court located in Gutter City. So we'll see if that has material impact. If I check the...
It did not. They haven't had a sale in 2 days.
Damn. Oof. That's tough. 0.82 ETH floor on Gutter Cat Gang. Nick, you like that?
Well, I just don't understand. They shouldn't do anything.
Well, anyway, those are your updates from the Nifty Daily Digest. We got a lot to talk about today. Nick, what's the first thing you'd like to discuss?
Well, I didn't realize you were going to ask me that, Pio, but I'm going to go with 8-inch collectibles. That seems like a good size.
What do you actually think of that drop? Selling 8-inch and 24-inch physical figurines of Invisible Friends for 0.6 for the big one. What do you make of that one?
That's pretty expensive. 0.6 is quite expensive. I mean, the Bored Ape. Wait, where is my Bored
Super
Ape?
plastic. You lost it while you were moving.
Oh, I didn't take it out. Whoops. That one is bigger than 8 inches, which I appreciate, and it costs like I think less than $300. I think it was like $250. And that's super plastic. So 0.6 ETH is pretty expensive. It looks cool though. I definitely think it's a cool looking collectible. I don't understand why they're charging so much for it.
$1,100.
That's for a 2-foot one though.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
And there's only 250.
Limited
About
run.
350 for the smaller one.
Give me a minute. I'm going to go find my Bored Ape, and we're going to measure this bad boy to see how big it is exactly.
I think we could probably Google it, but I feel like you want to measure it.
No,
Yeah,
I definitely want to measure it. It's really important.
Well, he's going to have to find the tape, so it's going to be like a 2-part series.
What's
okay,
that?
It's 13 inches is the height.
Okay.
Of the Bored Ape?
Yeah.
Okay, so 250, multiply that times 2, you got $500. And they're charging
$342 for the 8-inch.
I mean, it's pretty expensive. And the small one looks like it has such a large base. Like it's like a weird, it's an odd size for how they have that set up. The bigger one looks pretty cool though. I mean, I don't know if I'd want it, but I mean,
There's only 250 ever in the world.
Yeah, I want to go on record. What do I think is dope? I think the size and design of the figurine is fire. I like 2 feet. That's dope. That's like those cause statues that are pretty big. I like that. I think it's expensive, but if it sells out, then the joke's on everybody that said it was expensive, because then they just, brought in as much revenue as they could have given the opportunity. So joke's on anyone saying it's expensive if it does sell out. Yeah. Anybody else?
You know what? These kind of things, I was going to say, like, you have to think about the type of person who's going to have this and how it would look in their home. And I have a friend in my head, and he's like a bachelor in his 50s. You go to his apartment, you're just like, wow, like amazing design, skateboards on the wall, like helicopter blades are his lights. So like there's a fan. He has like a dead mouse statue in the corner. There's like a whole vibe going on there. And I think if you have one of those invisible friends in that kind of environment, it looks really cool. But if you're just thinking in your head, I'm going to put this on my desk and it's going to like stand near my water bottle, that doesn't really like set the vibe of what a collectible toy is. So I think you have to like think of the environment that this collectible sits against. Or I can imagine it, like some YouTuber with a really cool wall and it's sitting there as well. So I think when you think about it in that context of like, who is the person buying this and how does it sit in their home interior, their office interior, I think it's an awesome design. Price expensive, but awesome design.
Agree with you, Sig.
14.5 inches, and it sits on the desk. On the desk. Okay.
There you go, Nick. The audience for Bored Ape stuff is much bigger than the audience for Invisible Friends stuff. And that my response to Signal's commentary is that, yes, it's incredibly dope. Small audience, right? And I wonder how big the audience is for physical collectibles that are Invisible Friends themed. Like we could look up how many humans own Invisible Friends, and I gotta think it's not that many. Bored Ape Yacht Club has a much further reach. Anyway, we can move on from this one. Let's talk about this Ledger debacle. Easy, can you give us a breakdown? So ladies and gentlemen, just to set the stage, Ledger, one of the 2 biggest hardware companies in the crypto space. Okay, you got Treasure and you got Ledger. These are hardware wallets so that you can secure crypto and NFT assets. You can self-custody them. You can have an extra layer of security. You can be your own bank. And Ledger, since I'm a Treasure guy, a lot of Bitcoiners use Treasure. That's how I learned about Treasure early on. But a lot of NFT people, most NFT people and most ETH people seem to be more of Ledger people. And so this kind of hits pretty hard for our, part of the market. Easy, can you give us a breakdown?
Yeah, so I mean, what happened was they just released firmware update 2.2.1, which provides an opportunity for you to do and I'm just checking the exact message I received about it. It provides what people are calling a backdoor. So the device sends encrypted shards of your seed phrase to different companies. And if you decide to opt in for their new service, which is called Ledger, I want to say it's Ledger Record, I want to get the exact name.
Recovery.
Ledger Recovery, thank you. And what it'll do is as soon as you verify your ID, it can send you back your seed phrase. So that means what they've done without question is send out 3 different instances of your seed phrase chopped up. And those 3 will then be able to be recovered and sent back. So there is some speculation on like, is this forced? Is it not? Sounds like it's not a forced opt-in. You have to personally opt in, submit an ID to then have this. But the bigger concern is that like the whole argument, not your keys, not your crypto. In this case, even if it is your keys, theoretically, it could still not be your crypto because now these keys are being sent out to third-party databases, warehouses, locations that can be theoretically accessed somehow, some way. And because the Ledger is now actually sharding that secret phrase that's in there, the argument's always been that they do not have access to your secret phrase. It now appears that they do. So this is a much bigger concern for a lot of people looking at this, and it was shared on a Reddit AMA, so there's been now a lot of speculation about it. They just dropped a video as well on explaining what ledger recover is and like everything else going on with it. The official answer is that there's not a backdoor, but it still doesn't seem like that's a really good answer because there is some method now for your secret recovery phrase to be distributed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead, Kix.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's one of those things where if you're in that kind of pickle, you'd sure be happy that you opted in. That's for sure. You got 200K on a ledger and you can't get into that shit. And this option is available. You could be very excited. I understand why they're probably just baking it into a firmware update. I feel like maybe it would have made more sense to be a separate ledger product, right? That you could kind of advertise to the mass market, but then like, you know, OGs could be like on the original ledger.
It seems very retail friendly, company organization friendly.
Yeah. But I mean, the irony is that the reality of NFTs and crypto, at least for the past couple of years, has been that very few people actually percentage wise lose their money to losing their seed phrase. It's like 95%, 99% of the issues is people getting hacked in various forms. That's where most people are losing their money, right? Most people aren't losing their money on the seed phrase size. But as someone that went through a seed phrase issue with a hot wallet with 20 grand in it 2 months ago, you know, there is a use case.
I was going to say seed phrase issues are a thing, though. We don't encounter it in the NFT space as often as hacks, which is unfortunate. You know, you'd rather people lose their money because of a mistake that they make on their own versus a nefarious hack. But it is definitely, you know, a thing. And hardware wallets, self-custody, over time, you're going to have to, you know, make the user interface stronger. So Clemente's got a thread pulled up. A tweet. Stop using Ledger hardware wallets. Migrate away from them immediately. They've shown nothing but gross incompetence. So some of the techie people in the space are weighing in with distaste for this update. Can't say I'm terribly surprised. Looks like Treasure is about to win over the hardcore crypto people. Good thing I was already using it. Easy. Are you going to, you know, get away from Ledger immediately?
Yeah, I ordered a Trezor this morning just because, like, even if you don't opt in, theoretically that technology still exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
and there's
like,
multiple layers of concern, right? Easy, like there's one of like, what if you're in like a third world country and you're trying to leave the country and they find your Ledger and they can literally just take your ID and send it to these companies and get your seed.
Well, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Before,
there's
like a picture or what about a fake ID? Like there's
like someone
ways
could hack
that, like,
that.
Yeah, SIM swaps. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I have concerns about here. Where like if they get access,
this is why like WorldCoin, you know, where they take an iris scan, you know, a lot harder to cheat when they literally.
I can't argue iris scans, man. I'm on Delta Clear. I've already given them all my biometric data. I have no concerns in the world anymore.
If I can skip 5 minutes in a line, I'll give you everything, you know. Signal, any thoughts on Ledger?
I think like obviously all of us in this space are, you know, hopefully don't have that problem of losing their seed phrase. So I can see why there's so much backlash for a service that probably a lot of people would not opt into. But on the other hand, there are a lot of people who need this service, right? Not everyone understands the consequences, like the real consequences of not your keys, not your crypto. And they've had to go through FTX, they've had to go through BlockFi, they've had to go through a lot of like very extreme events, end up losing huge amounts of money to really understand what that phrase means. And I think, okay, whilst I, you know, certainly do not want anyone to like, you know, lose their money, I feel like this is a stepping stone in the direction of how to get people to understand what self-custody really means. The biggest problem here is that with hacks, it's not the technology, which is normally the problem. It's people who are the problem. Like in 90% of hacks, it's the social engineering and it's the human beings, which are the single sort of like the single point of failure. And we've seen that in, you know, Ledger had the problem where home addresses, like they basically managed to get everyone's home address in their customer database. We've seen stuff like that happen. We've seen, you know, hacks from North Korea where they socially engineer through LinkedIn to be able to get people into the firm. So they're always coming through people. They're not going through the technology. So my biggest concern here actually isn't the technology. It would be how can people who have bad intentions socially exploit just weaknesses in the process whereby they're able to get hold of your ID and they're able somehow to be able to actually get the seed phrase recovery. That's the biggest problem. I understand why Ledger is doing this, right? We have to like hold people's hand into crypto, right? If you're saying don't keep it on an exchange and you're saying to self-custody, but then people are taking photos of their seed phrase, so it goes into their iCloud, like there needs to be some kind of bridge. And maybe this isn't a perfect solution, but I think it's on the way to getting to what a potentially correct solution is, which is people understand what real self-custody is.
My concern though here is that they've openly said that there is a way to get this, is like the bigger concern. So you're talking social engineering, but now by them coming out and stating, yeah, we do send these shards, basically anyone who opts in, there is a path. There's a workflow in which this is distributed, which means that there's a potential vulnerability that somebody can try to pinpoint. So they've basically outlined where the weakness is. It's like when you build a bridge and say this part right here is the weakest part, that's where people are going to go and try to attack. So regardless of the social engineering thing, from a pure software development standpoint, it now makes the most sense, in my opinion, for malicious and bad actors to try to figure out how to exploit that specific area, knowing that it exists. Like, I almost feel like I'd be happier if they didn't outright explain how they gave out the workflow of this, because that's now the weakest point of failure. You know what I mean? So that's like my bigger concern. It's like, yeah, it's all been social engineering attacks, but now they've clearly stated there is a way to get these shards and we do distribute them. So this is what's going to gear people towards going that route to try to figure out how to backdoor it and how to reverse engineer that workflow.
Kicks?
This is why I think that this should have been a separate product engineered towards, like exactly like Signal said, towards people that are on exchanges anyways, that have more risk because they're not at least controlling their destiny in some way, shape, or form. Because everybody that's already using ledgers understands to like have your seed phrase stored securely, right? So like it's not, I don't think it's really helping that many people that are already on Ledger. It's more of like an interesting new product that could help a lot of people on exchanges that are scared of this self-storage to feel a little bit more safe dipping their toes in the water. But yeah, the fact that they're just like saying, oh, we're just going to roll this out for everybody, I think that was a bad product move, because that's kind of the antithesis of how a lot of people approach hardware.
Well, it's not being received well from the hardcore crypto people. And at the end of the day, there aren't that many casuals that use ledgers and treasures. You kind of have a pretty hardcore audience. And I understand making the user interface better, but if you compromise on security, you're going to get negative feedback. One commenter said that you can't use NFT treasure for NFTs. You actually can. What you do is you basically create a hardware wallet within MetaMask with treasure is how you do it. And then the treasure is basically like a YubiKey in that situation. Anyway, that's it for the treasure and ledger discussion. We'll have to see how that shakes out and whether everybody is a treasure person now. Next story, Bored Ape Yacht Club. And also an audience member said, has the $1 million Gold Ape sale been mentioned? It hasn't been mentioned. Now we've mentioned it. A Gold Ape sold for $1 million.
It was a big Solana whale. That's what it was. It was an OG soul whale, Free Lunch Capital, who's been aggressively bidding on DGods, went and bought it and was like, he had a really funny comment about it. He was like, my bags are my opinions. When someone was like, why'd you buy this? And that was like all he said to it. I was like, damn.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's like, my bags are my opinions. And I was like, okay. Nobody can argue that. Dude just went out and spent $1 million on it. He's been buying up like dust from the DGods ecosystem too. He bought like 1.5 million over 3 days, just consistently buying massive size. And he holds like personally my favorite DGod. It's like a pure gold armor one. And the guy's just he gets it. So he's a great trader from what it seems. Long-term holder on a lot of projects, and has no hesitation throwing some serious capital around.
Are we seeing a shift?
This is him, yeah. Pimp Capital. His Twitter is Free Lunch Capital, but his bags are crazy.
Insane.
Are we seeing a shift? And sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Kix' internet's not there yet, so we got a little delay here. Kix, do you have anything to chime in with?
Just see the guy has a real fat bag. And I also just thought it was hilarious that someone said in the comments about Ledger that P.O. steals Clemente's Ledger, and then P.O. says, it's me, and Ledger says, yes.
That's hilarious. Another Clemente derivative joke. Gotta love it. It's a sign of love because if they didn't like Clemente, they'd say literally never let him host again because that's just how the internet works. People don't hold back their opinions. This guy's collection is insane. So, moving on. Oh, and actually, before we move on to this, like, is this whale shopping right now in that big sale? Is that an indicator of liquidity returning to NFTs? I've seen NFT statistics who's actually, Sam from Proof, who's going to be on the show tomorrow. Really excited to have him on the show tomorrow. I see him on the crowd right now. He's been posting several, it seems like over the past 7 to 10 days, sizable sales in the NFT space of different collections. Do we think that we're seeing a rotation back into the NFT space?
I do. I genuinely do. And that's something that, like, you're looking now, I look at volume and like pure play volume from the 7, 14, 31 day metrics a lot just to see like where liquidity is flowing. And on Solana and ETH over the last 7 days, we're up. Over the last 24 hours, we're up even more across the two of them, especially on like specific projects on the ETH side. Total volume on Solana is still trending back up at the moment. It's back-to-back days of almost 20% runs. Which is great to see, which, I mean, when you're at 20K sold volume, it's not that difficult at this point, So we'll take what we can get. But seeing Mando actually tweeted a picture this morning of like the top 28 projects, and more than 50% of them are in the green on floor change in price over the last 7 days, which is a good sign. Volume still ramping. And some of them have some pretty big winners. 45% run on Rec Guy, 22% on Potatoes, 25% on Campai Pandas, and even like checks at 31%. So, like, there's some big winners happening right now. Like, 31% in a bear market is great. Like, where else are you getting that return? You know what I mean? On a positive swing upside, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, when I was listening to the show yesterday in the car, really enjoyed it, by the way, listening to you guys just as a fan. When you guys talked about Oni Force, I wanted to stick a knife in my like foot or something. I don't know. Maybe that's because I just watched Bo is Afraid yesterday.
The same way, because with that one, when we talked about it last week, didn't you feel it? Like, you're like, this is probably a good play.
Well,
it was a buy.
Dude, did you want to go down to the salad shop and just start like punching the cash register person in the face? Because and steal some salad?
That was a good joke that I did. I think that me seeing the third film by Ari Aster, Bo is Afraid, last night, which I don't recommend anybody watch unless they're a true cinephile. That I think and even the true cinephiles might be like, this film's a little too self-indulgent, but it was very violent. So maybe that just bled into my podcasting. No pun intended. But anyway, when I was listening to you guys talk about Oni Force, I was so mad because Spencer told me about the sale of Oni Force months ago. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And then he told me when he bought them, or he announced it like on this show when he bought them. And I was like, okay, I don't like to fade Spencer. I think that Spencer's got a good head on his shoulders and has solid awareness when it comes to the NFT market. And when I saw them at 0.62, I think you can go to the film last week on like Thursday. He was talking about, he's like, do you not see that they just announced a partnership with the people that made ApeCoin? They were bought by a private equity fund. Do you not see it? And I was like, no, I see it. And at 0.62, it felt like a good buy. Meanwhile, people in the comments were like, nobody's going to buy your bag, Spencer. Nobody's going to buy Oni for Spencer. And then lo and behold, it's 1 ETH. So it's like, damn it. I knew it was a good play. Why didn't I pull the trigger on it? Glad I didn't fade easy when he told me that it was financial advice to buy Captainz. But anyway, moving on from that, Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club chosen as the two most recent blend eligible collections. The mechanic was different this time around. It was announced and then a 30-minute buffer was given until the feature went live. So it seems like Pac-Man and the Blur squad are learning from that little teeny weeny mishap they had last time. This mechanic caused a temporary pump that died off as the feature actually went live. It ended up basically being a non-event. What's interesting is that Pudgy Penguins and Beans saw a sell-off right after the announcement because it was speculated that they would be the next blend collections. 40 Pudgy Penguins dumped into Blur bids in the half hour following the news, 15 Beans. Do we think that this Blur news is going to continue to be significant, or Kicks, please take it away?
Yeah, I mean, I personally feel like this kind of product is like super niche and super technical. So I just feel like a lot of people just are gonna it's not really interesting to hear like that another product has it necessarily, in my opinion, unless you really want to buy one of them on like buy now, pay later. And personally, just seeing people using these loans, like I think they may need to restructure the product a little bit, because I don't think people like, if you in the real world, like buy now, pay later, it's like very structured. Like you put X amount up front and then you owe like Y amount every month for the next 6 months. Like with this program, unless I'm mistaken, like all of a sudden it can get recalled and you just have to like have the full amount like ready on demand. So I don't know. It's not super interesting to me, but I think that like the quick sell-offs and the speculation of who's going to be next on the blend program just shows like how tight the market is right now in NFTs, like how people are trying to whittle these like really tiny margin plays just to make some money. So I think that it's just a sign of the times that like people are really trying to, you know, scalp a blend news event. You know what I mean? It just seems kind of odd to me, but you know, hopefully I think with Gwei coming back down, we can get back into a more traditional NFT season.
And I want to talk about that with Bunny. Sig, any thoughts on MAC, BAYC, Blur, Blend, anything like that?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. You know, it's a small number of people, but the numbers are significant. If you look, they've already done since the launch of this product almost 100,000 in total ETH loaned. There's over 1,000 lenders and there's 866 borrowers. Okay, but obviously we need to take off, you know, a bit of a percentage on that because you could have multiple wallets. And one of the most interesting stats that I saw, so obviously apes and mutants coming in for the people who are doing the borrowing and lending was extremely interesting because apes are closely tracking Azuki on the total volume across the blend collections. Azuki's leading, and then it's just slightly Azuki's leading, and then it's just slightly apes below that. But what's more interesting is that loans have now become 60% of the volume on Blur. So more people are doing loan activity than actually trading activity, which I thought was really interesting. And that's the first time since it launched. There's obviously apes that have made the difference. Very niche. However, for Blur, this is you know, potentially a very, I mean, we don't know how much profit they're making on the back end of this, but just because it's niche, I don't think it doesn't necessarily mean it's not profitable for the platform. But at the same time, I think it's good because when just generally across the market, we're starting to see more interest in just general NFT activity. So I'm hoping, like, you know, as more collections are added to Blur, more interest and liquidity comes back in. But it's still, yeah, it still remains very niche. It's not something that I really play in, but I definitely watch the numbers because it's interesting that there's more loans than actual NFT trading on Blur right now. So this small niche base of user are actually becoming the power players on that platform.
Well, yeah, and if the mission of Blur, my understanding is just complete financialization of NFTs, which if you've been in the NFT space long enough, you know that that's a very, very good approach because that's ultimately the biggest sector of the NFT market right now. I do believe gaming will surpass it long term. But Blur, I feel like Signal said, it's like, I'm not a user of this product, but I think it's a necessary product for the platform. Easy, what are your thoughts on this? I'd love to know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, dude, credit is such a scary thing. Like when you look at like a macro scale right now, we have one of the largest credit bubbles across consumers outside of Blur. You know what I mean? Like just retail and general participants globally have some of the largest credit debt ever, like historically. So this in general is definitely trying to appeal to an audience that may not have capital and still look for speculative plays, because you can actually sell these loans and make returns just based on floor price moves. So for me, I'm looking at this like as a trading vertical. Once liquidity flows back in, if it does, hopefully it does, of course, and we start to see more of that volume ramp on bigger projects. Like I think for Yuga assets, basically every announcement, if you just see lulls and nothing come out for a couple weeks, there's opportunities here as long as the loan doesn't get called to use less of a bankroll and still get an upside. But right now it's still so early and people are just trying to run with these 0% loans and not get them called. Like that's a scarier thing, is that the loan can get called at any time and you only have 24 hours to pay it back, or you need somebody else to pick it up. So like without like stringent guidelines of how long the loan can be out, and on the Sol side, and that's just kind of like where my head goes, you have 7, 14, and 30-day loans over there, and sometimes even 3-day. So you have fixed timelines that don't get called back on. And this is where you see a lot more people like basically leverage their underlying assets to like utilize the underlying currency and start to trade with that and basically go long or short on NFTs. If they're long underlying Solana, they'll loan out all their NFT assets, let Sol pump, go back into USDC, wait for a pullback and pay it back. And it's more complicated. So it's just creating different tiers of speculators, investors, traders across the board. And I think Blend is going to continue to build out this protocol that gives more of those options. And that's where I'm starting to look is like right now it's all short term. You're buying these, hoping for a quick flip, get in and out. You're not seeing many people buy these for longer term announcements. You're not seeing many people trade these or take it out as like a longer short on the market. Instead, it's purely speculation. And I even think once IRL events start hitting, that's where you'll really see a lot of these tokens get like bought. Like Azuki's upcoming, I believe it's in June, Follow the White Rabbit in Vegas. If their collection was out for you to claim tickets, I could have seen a lot of loans get taken for people to claim tickets and then basically either sell them back or let them default and get the ticket for an underlying cost and kind of play that game. Like there's a couple different ways that I could see the loan market actually continue to have a cause and effect, but we're in the batter's box of what it's doing on ETH. And we see a lot of this on Sol. Like when Claynosaur's events happen, you actually see a massive run up in their loans because people get the assets. They're then locked in your wallet. You can't trade them or move them, but you have access to that token. So you can then claim a spot, go to the event for a fraction of the cost. And that's where people start to get like dynamic with the way that they move and navigate the market for them. And it's kind of scary because like the buy now, pay later for me is like, that is completely capitalizing on the lower income side of the market, because buy now, pay later has always been kind of viewed, in my opinion, as that vertical where you're kind of taking advantage of people who live paycheck to paycheck and try to budget for these opportunities to spend outside their means.
It's one thing to take advantage of people that live paycheck to paycheck through payday loans that have, or people that are sending remittances to their family in their native country. It's another thing when somebody's like, I want to buy that $14,000 JPEG. So I don't have as much sympathy for the low end of the market.
Not at all. Yeah. It's just like, it does fall in the same vertical, you know, cause it's like these people are spending outside their means. Like either you have 14 ETH, you don't have 14 ETH to go and buy this.
I mean, they're speculating, right? They're not buying groceries. They're speculating outside their means.
It's not as predatory as Benipple is outside of this space. Like I think like buy now, pay later is, Benipple. I think like,
that's what it's called, is Benipple.
You Benipple, like, you know, when you're trying to buy whatever, a dress or trousers or whatever, and it's like $180 and they're offering you to do Benipple on it, it just feels a bit predatory. It's just like, damn, like that product should just be 180 and not try and like scouge money from people so that they end up paying back 195. I think the people who are doing this are pretty damn sophisticated in this space. And if you're not, you're going to get wrecked. And, you know, we see that happen time and time again, but it feels like there's more accountability on the fact that they decided to go take out these loans and, you know, get absolutely sculled. But, I forgot what I was going to say now. Sorry. Yes, that was it.
Rare.
I was going to say, I know rare happens, but Pio, that your face reminded me, you know, we saw what happened with shares and Robinhood. Like, you know, before when you wanted to buy into Apple, you had to, you know, like take out of your paycheck that whatever it was back then, let's say $1,000, you know, for just one Apple share. And then Robinhood comes in and, you know, fractionalizes the game. And then all of a sudden, buying shares becomes, you know, a game that anyone can do regardless of the paycheck that they're on. And I think if we were to see a product like that somehow in, you know, in NFTs, which I know then goes into securities, and I know the SEC has just come out and said that basically we're not going to give clarity, whatever. But if that kind of service or platform was to come out from another country, then that kind of financialization becomes very, very interesting and a product that I think more people would use.
I think that's going to happen. I'll be a huge user of that because I've been a user of fractional share investing for a long time. I mean, just for an example, I mean, a lot of people don't process fractional shares properly. They just don't. I think it actually might be like a basic human thing. I think you got to really, I don't know what it is. I always understood it, but basically Tesla stock, right? $166 a share. Someone that lives paycheck to paycheck could buy $4 a day. And I'm sure that there'll be people that chirp me and go like, what's that going to do? Well, the answer is it's probably going to give you more purchasing power over the next 5 years than if you kept that in your bank account in cash. That's the answer of what that's going to do. So is that person going to be a millionaire at the end of 5 years? Probably not, but they'll definitely have protected their purchasing power in a more efficient way, or more effective way, I should say, than just keeping the money in the bank. So look, I want to talk about Captainz all-time high, but I think that concept is in line with liquidity cycling back to NFTs, I want to go to our resident shitcoiner, Bunny. Bunny, so not only have you been dominating the airwaves on Twitter Spaces with your hit show titled $Pepe and your other hit show titled $Pepe, Bambi, your optimization game is incredible. I believe there was one other show. I believe it was titled $Ben, Pepe. I mean, you're a maverick when it comes to coming up with these titles, and it's attracting the masses as a result. Plus, you're on the team with Ben.eth making psyops. So there's just a lot going on. Bunny, the host of the smash hit show $Pepe and $Ben. What's the story with shitcoins right now?
Well, if there was that Andrew, I don't know if you saw, but Andrew Tate accidentally or maybe not accidentally pumped one yesterday. I don't want to say the name.
Say the name.
Let's make the title of this show the name of that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. The show will be canceled. We won't be here tomorrow. But that
Do
was
it, Clemente.
This brought Nick. This brought the bear out of the cave. Nick's like, you talking about title optimization based on the current crypto climate and Twitter Spaces audience?
He appeared because Bunny was talking about that coin, and then Nick appears, which is quite funny if you know what the name of the coin is.
Well, no, that wasn't why I did it. I was enjoying the comments on Pio understanding fractions. He's like, a lot of people don't understand fractions. Your boy does. Your boy understands fractions.
I do. I don't know what to tell you. I got a
How many? I've never seen a flood of comments of people being like, I just don't understand these fractional shares.
Dude, go tell people to buy fractional shares and let me know if it's like a warm response. If people get excited about owning 0.1 shares of Tesla stock, spoiler alert, they're going to be like, why am I doing this? It doesn't make sense.
Psychology thing. We saw with Pepe too. It feels better to buy 100 trillion Pepe than one Bitcoin. For whatever reason, you can say I have 100 trillion or something. You just feel better.
My old boss at Robinhood literally said to me one time, he was like, he literally like kind of a goober kind of guy. He just goes, yeah, so I have like a couple million shares of SHIB. If it goes somewhere and does something, who knows? But like, he was like pleased with himself that he put money into SHIB that's later going to be lit on fire, but he had a few million shares. So just in case, he's a SHIB millionaire.
Well, he's probably doing pretty well. He may be retired now, Pio.
No, he didn't do it early. He did it like by the time you could buy it like on Robinhood or whatever platform, you know? Oh, geez, Andrew Tate. Dude, Andrew Tate is funny with this shit, man. Like with the...
Wait, Pio's like, oh my God, they put the word sluts on the screen. Take it off, Clemente. Take it off. Because we've never said anything worse than that on this show.
We maybe have not.
So someone launched
a word worse than
that
slut?
token. Someone launched that token within 15 minutes of him tweeting that.
Of course.
Please, we have the timestamps. It was 13 minutes and 17 seconds after the tweet went live.
Isn't shit and fuck both worse than slut? I don't know.
We're not going to do a curse word.
Well, we also have both
stack
of those
rank.
I
mean, like, come on now.
Tier list.
Yeah. Well, so I want to get back to altcoins with our resident altcoin celebrity, Bunny. Bunny, so what's the story with PSYOP? I saw my guy Schwaz, shout out to my guy Schwaz, saying that he's basically on a mission to dox Ben.eth, and that he had found Ben.eth's real name by looking up the offers he'd put in on ENS domains. He apparently put in an offer for his actual government name and his mother's maiden name on whatever it is, ENS for ENS domains. So, Bunny, what's the story with PSYOP? He raised $7 million pre-sale, and what's happening now?
Well, the last update I've seen is that he canceled the public sale. Although I think some would argue the pre-sale was kind of a public sale.
Yeah. It was pretty public. It was a tweet that said, send money to this address. It's pretty public.
Yeah, and it was open for quite a long time. I don't know. I think the last tweet I saw, he said Thursday he was looking to drop it. But then this morning he tweeted, even he's getting some FOMO around his own coin, and he's trying to push this thing out as quick as possible.
Nick, what do you think of that for a mark? Even I'm getting FOMO about this thing.
How can How can you prevent people from sending money? That's the thing that I don't understand. He just has a wallet.
No, he can't. Yeah, well, technically you could. Yeah, technically you can still send them money. I just don't think that gets you anything at this point in time.
It's his hot wallet. He's buying Milady's. He holds his Bored Ape in it.
Yeah,
it's literally like his personal wallet.
So now he's just getting money randomly from people that still see that tweet, essentially.
Yeah.
How much money has been sent after the quote window closed?
I think almost $500,000.
Oh my God. OSF thinks he's going to jail, Nick.
He's not the only one. OSF, Loopify. There's a long list of people who are like, you're going to prison. Just very openly saying it to him.
Some people have been calling him Ben.jail.
I like that one. I'm down with Ben.jail. Buy that domain, Nick. So look, Bunny, is altcoins...
I almost sent money. I want to be clear. I saw the tweet and I was like,
dude.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Bunny, you're on the team.
Bunny, are you actually on the team or are we just joking?
Easy.
No, I'm not on the team, Easy. Stop saying that every spaces.
I bought Haram because I got a text message.
Haram.
Ben.eth seems like a better play than that. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like
everybody's talking about it, right? Like there would be dumber things that have moons. Like I think we could all agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's right now, everyone's got ethics. Everyone here has ethics. It's like, oh, I'm not going to send money. Why would I send money? And then this thing is going to rocket. And all of a sudden, everyone's going to be trying to chase it. And it'll be like, yeah, Bunny was right. It full send. It's just like, you got to like, if you're not going to do it, then you just close your ears. And obviously it's going to moon. It's going to do really, really well. But don't then try and chase it because obviously you're going to get dumped on. But it's like, yeah, you know, when money's being made and it's all over your timeline, you get so much more FOMO on coins than you do on NFTs. Like simple as. So it's like I'm with Bunny. I think he's right, and this is gonna full send.
Well, with that too, there was actually a Solana coin because like the shitcoin meta did run across both chains pretty hard. They launched a token called Greed on Solana. Never actually launched the token, but the way that they did this, and it was like what they call a social experiment, was you had to connect a wallet, sign a transaction, and then connect your Twitter and basically give up all permissions to your Twitter. 62,000 people did it. For context, 62,000 accounts. They never released a token, and instead, when they said it was going live, they posted a Medium article and a full tweet outlining how greedy the space is and how they gave up their rights. So you saw the entire timeline get hit with this tweet. And Slope, this wallet drained $6 million from users and vanished, just completely vanished. And then they posted the tweet because they signed the permission from this Twitter account to hopefully get a free money airdrop. So it was like a really interesting like social dynamic of what the space is really about. And seeing that, and they like people are still posting the tweet because they haven't revoked permissions. So it just shows that people will go to great lengths and basically give up any form of security if there's potential money to be made. And luckily, I didn't sign. I was proud of myself. Didn't participate. Never signed. Saw that and was like, I'm not giving up my Twitter access. It was a good day.
I mean, those people's defense, Easy. It's a good ticker.
It is a good ticker. I love how that's the indicator. It's just like, what's the ticker? Which one was the one that was $ Bitcoin? How's that one doing?
Harry Potter, Obama.
Hanging in there, I think.
Yeah, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu is still around. Crypto's ticker, Bitcoin.
The memes with that one are pretty astounding. So yesterday, when Andrew Tate was tweeting this, right, there were a bunch of people who aped in. I was one of them. And then somebody looked it up on Token Sniffer, and there was like an alert that said this is deployed by a serial scammer, right? And so I think this is the perfect like example of what Web3 is. Somebody in a group chat replied, "Nice, he has experience."
Well, I mean, Bunny, so in all seriousness, how much more oomph do you think that altcoins can have here? You have to think that the trend's going to die at some point. Otherwise, everyone in the NFT space, everyone in the crypto space will just keep deploying into these, pure play shit coins. Do you think that there's a few more weeks? Like, you've covered it. I think you and Easy probably have paid the most attention. I mean, Kix has been deploying capital too. But yeah, what do you think, Bunny?
I would say like 1 to 3 more weeks. I don't know. Everyone says it's running out of steam, but like literally on the back of Ben Dottie, who had 20,000 followers only, like before this all started. He just raised $7 million for a meme coin. So like, I still think it has some steam.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Kicks.
Yeah, I think the same way, because I think it's tough to like try to, call, like, because a lot of times these things can go on crazier runs or for longer periods of time than you may originally think. Like, NFTs in the summer of 2021, it was like up only for 3 months straight. It was just insane. And in DeFi summer that happened in 2020, like same story. It kind of it cycled for a couple of months. The thing with like meme coins is that like you just need like things with like different narratives, I think, for it to last longer than the next couple of weeks. Like you'll have to have more interesting projects come in than just like, hey, the ticker looks nice. But hey, maybe that's all that matters. The ticker looks nice. But my point being is that I haven't traded back in since my sweets trade like a week ago, but I wouldn't be crazy surprised if it went longer than we think.
All right. Well, if it goes longer than we think, then you can expect NFTs to keep bleeding. This takes me to Captainz, which have hit an all-time high. Is this all-time high because of the meme token that's going to come? Is that why, Easy?
Yeah. So they did just post so 9gag CEO Ray posted a tweet that was like, if you ask when Memecoin's dropping, what answer do you want to see? Probably, soon, now, other. And that made people speculate that like this is coming sooner than we think. So a lot of people have been like just excited about this. Yeah, or eyes. That's what it was. Probably maybe soon and then eyes. So this made a lot of people think that it's going to be here sooner than later. And obviously the ties to like the Binance and some of the other key exchanges have people extremely hopeful for this. Like if you drop meme token during Memecoin mania that we're seeing right now, and with 69% of it going to the community, that means that there's a very good chance those potatoes and Captainz, especially with the rarer maps, are the ones that are going to get rewarded the most. And it's a great ticker. Like to Bunny's point, meme during Memecoin mania by a doxed founder who created 9gag and has ties to exchanges seems like a pretty surefire play as soon as liquidity is still here. So that's kind of why those continued to run. And a bunch of people were bull posting on the timeline that 10 ETH floor looks imminent. That's been my price target for an extended period of time as well. And I think we get it. I genuinely think as soon as we get a date that's getting dropped, we'll see it.
Two questions, Easy. Sorry, just 2 questions. What price did you get in at?
Captainz. 4-ish, right around there.
3 is a new low.
No,
it's a new low. We've got
like
3 guys.
Dude, they say it's gonna
be low, man.
Three and change, but it was like right around 4.
He minted them. We got paid. I got paid to receive one. I received money and the Captainz. Look, Easy. I do have to roast you on this. It does get lower and lower. I gave you guys Captainz at 2.9.
I gave you guys Captainz when you could buy potatoes for an ETH each and mint them. Is what happened.
We have the text from you, the financial advice text to me and Nick to buy Captainz. I acted on it immediately. We can look up what time of day I bought the thing. I bought it for
4.
almost 5 ETH, but it's still a monster win. And I want you to.
You were late. That was my buy right there.
No, that's when you said buy, but you didn't buy there.
I bought the next day was my buy, and then when I texted you guys was probably about a week later because I still thought
a week later.
Yeah, I thought I had a bad buy and then bad entry because it did go down shortly after that.
So the truth comes out.
It does. And I've got to ask, have you been raiding?
Yeah.
And what's been your win and loss? So maybe explain what raids are and then explain the win or losses.
Get the maps from other players. I actually have a terrible win-loss. I think I'm at like a 22% win ratio right now. So I've just continually actually lost some of my maps, which isn't best. But it's just kind of fun. Like I like the games like that where you press like 2 buttons and can participate. Like you can win something or lose something, and it's pretty decent RNG. Like it's 50-50. So you're basically a coin flip for them. And sometimes, like I think the rarity does play into it. That's what the big speculation is. Like we saw every non-human captain get swept like yesterday or 2 days ago. So there's only 55 listed. So a lot of people are speculating the amount of tokens that you get for that. That's a big thing here. Is like I think there's gonna be more games that happen here with like this type of style where it's very low interaction. And play into that, where it's like you click once or twice, wait, and then something comes back. Like we're seeing it with questing, where you send them out and earn maps by staking for short-term and long-term results. And that's kind of the thing we're looking at here is my raids have gone up terribly every time. So I just am participating because it's kind of fun and I like to see the game mechanics. But clearly they've been able to do a very good job incentivizing people to participate in each of these new like game theory ideas.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely fascinating. You know, there's a belief that Ray is one of the big brains in the NFT space right now. I've been enjoying it and obviously enjoying the price appreciation. Shout out to Easy. I think I'm up $9,000, 9,000 US dollars on the trade. I'll take that all day, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Nick is his internal energy is rearing itself right now. And no, I'm just kidding. Nick's
I gotta listen to a guy that understands fractions talk about, you know, how much money he made here, dude. You know, it's painful.
I haven't made any yet. It could go to 0 tomorrow. I haven't made any yet. I did not take profits yet because Easy said it's going to 10.
That's my target.
What is it at right now?
I'm out.
It's almost a 9, buddy.
8.88.
So why not just sell it? Like, what's that extra ETH?
Squeeze out a little.
About $1,900, give or take.
Yeah, ring it out a little bit. Ring out all that little money. It's a bear market, buddy. I mean, this does feel like a good one. I almost panic sold at like 6.9 the other day. Thank God I didn't. Thank God I did not, because it did have a little dipperoo. And everybody, then you go on Twitter and everybody's saying like, is anybody still here in NFTs? Is anybody still here? And I'm just like, shut up. Like literally, it's a temporary bear market. When the NFT money comes back in, your in real life friends are literally going to be texting you. My in real life friends right now, energy towards like our business is hilarious. Like I have a friend that works at a big tech company, and he was the guy that was texting me at the very top of the bull run. He bought other deeds at like 5 ETH. He was that guy. And now when I bring up the business, he literally acts like tomorrow we're going to have to close our doors. Like he's almost like, you guys still are like doing that? Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, bitch, we're still doing it. It's going pretty good, actually. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, we got a free NFT to dish out. Clementine, let's rock and roll, buddy.
Let's do it.
Let's see if the site goes down. I'm interested to see if y'all can crash it today.
The password for today's free NFT is mask17, MASK17. Go to thenifty.com/claim to claim 2 days free NFT. And I'm going to pull it up right now. We're going to go ahead and claim this bad boy live.
Sorry, is this a sponsored NFT?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So I'll give some color. This is from Gorgeous DAO. They were a previous sponsor, but they actually have some action going on this week. So this is Buddy's beauty routine. Buddy reveals the nightly routine behind his youthful glow with Gorgeous DAO. Every dog has its day. That's why Buddy makes sure to take care of himself before bed. Check out Gorgeous DAO's Avatar Mint with the public sale going live today at 8 p.m. EST. This is a sponsor that came on our show a couple of weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen. Had a lot of fun with this free NFT. Check out Gorgeous DAO, GORJS. Had a lot of fun making this one. I thought it was pretty funny to have Buddy applying an avocado mask. Signal, I don't know if you're into spa days. Is this an accurate representation?
Yeah, I'd say I'd look like that. I pretty much look like that when I go to the spa, like with the towel in the hair. But I don't put avocado. Definitely don't put avocado on my face. But I'm loving this, man. The way Buddy just turns up every single day as a new character. Like I'm always looking forward to see like what he's up to, what he's doing, if he's an accountant smoking or whether he's Jackson Pollock. Like I love it. I love Buddy's transformation.
Spoiler alert, Signal. You just spoiled a free NFT that hasn't come out yet. What the H?
I don't think so. No, definitely didn't. He was definitely an accountant. Like
Jackson Pollock. Signal. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, check out the free NFT. Go to thenifty.com/claim. The code is mask17. Just giving Signal a hard time here, but she did spoil an upcoming free NFT, ladies and gentlemen.
Just giving her a hard time, but she did really ruin that experience.
Doesn't
Jesus
matter.
Christ.
Okay, nobody's gonna remember it. I'm just playing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. We run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. Also available on YouTube if you want to see everybody's beautiful face during the show. Also available on Apple and Spotify podcasts if you want to share it with people outside of the Twitterverse. Anyway, that's our show. Make sure that you share the show with your friends if you enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun.